YouTube? Like everyone right now,
Did I fall asleep with the lights on again?
I've been spending way too much time cooped up inside my room.
But this time!
I don't leave it all that much in the first place. And when I do... It's to get some food.
A large Sprite, and 2 small fries, and that's it. Thank you.
And then I come right back. But it's starting to get kind of messy in here. Just look at all these shots I took around my room yesterday. Wow. What a mess. So I wanted to give you guys a tutorial on how to clean your room, as it's really easy to get distracted while you're cleaning your room, and you don't want to do that, as then you'll have a half-finished room, and your room won't be cleaned, and that's not good. Cleaning is said to be used by the ancient Egyptians in order to keep things super nice and clean. It's like a respect thing. Like, what if you invited someone over to your house and your room wasn't cleaned? That would be bad. I have created this very professional and dramatic sketch to showcase the following. But please remember that this is a dramatized set of events, but it's very based on a real event from my personal life. And also that I am currently the only actor right now, as I am currently locked inside of here.
Come in. Yeah, alright. I'll feel it. I'll talk to you later. Oh no. Why is your house so messy? Oh no. I thought you said you were coming over later. I promise I will clean it before we meet up next time. Do you still want to watch some TV? No. I don't want to watch television with you because of how messy it is in here. But I do want you to die.
Oh no! I'm dead! I've died. I'm dead now. And now I've written the same sketch, but what if the room was cleaned?
Wow, it's really clean in here. Thanks. Now die.
Ha! I really turned those tables on him. Cleaning, however, is a lot of hard work. And just like in sports ball, the sports games things, you have to do a bit of pre-gaming before you can be in the actual game. Or in this case, the cleaning. The cleaning is the game, and the pre-game is the setup. Like, for example, here's a list of everything that I do before I begin cleaning. But please be warned, there is a lot of steps. I do a lot of setup. I first like to have like a little something to snack on and something to drink, just in case I get extremely parched or I long to quench the thirst of 1,000 suns during the cleaning process. And then I can have like a little snack or something to drink, and I can go right back to cleaning. However, I currently don't have any snacks inside my house.
There's nothing in here.
But if you have a snack, by all means, have it with you, just in case you get a hankering for those chips that you have. And then you can quench that hankering for those chips that you had and go right back to cleaning. Another thing that I like to do before I begin cleaning is to make sure that I'm getting plenty of sleep. as you don't want to be awake while you're cleaning and then fall asleep. This is not good, as then you will not be awake and cleaning your room, and you will be asleep instead. Another thing that I like to do, likely before I fall asleep the night before cleaning, is to make sure that I have plenty of trash bags, as you are going to be throwing away a lot of trash from your messy room, and you are going to want a place to put all that trash from your messy room. I bought these large heavy-duty trash bags. However, I'm probably not going to use all of them right now, but that's okay. I'll just use them around my new house. They'll last me for a while. Another thing that you might need to do is to eliminate all those pesky distractions around your room, as you are going to be cleaning your room for a couple hours, and so you're going to want to focus on cleaning your room instead of watching TV. Some people like to clean with their TVs on.
No distractions for this guy.
But I would not recommend this, as there is a possible chance you might get distracted while you're cleaning your room. So, from a certified cleaning expert, I took a class, I would highly recommend that you turn off your TV while you are cleaning, because if you leave it on, that would be bad. But if you want to leave it on, that's okay. That would be fine. If you like living next to the edge of a cliff, who am I to stop you? Another thing that you might need, and this is the last thing before we begin the cleaning process, is music. You see, the cool thing about music is there's nothing to watch, so you can just listen.
I like big butts and I cannot lie. You other brothers can't deny. And when a girl walks in with an itty bitty waist and a round thing in your face, you get sprung.
So you can turn it on in the background and just listen to it while you are trying to focus on other things. This works great if you are driving, laying in a dark room and crying while it's raining outside.
You don't understand.
Working on a script for a video that you have been trying to finish for the last 3 months because you can't find a good way to end this thing. Or if you're trying to clean something up. There is one more thing. Hold on. I forgot. I'm sorry. And finally, what you are cleaning your room for, well, it just might impact how you clean it and those bigger cleaning decisions that you might make. Like for me, for example, I am cleaning so that I can move out of this place. So I'm probably going to need a few boxes. After all this prep, we can finally begin the cleaning process. While the basics of cleaning are removing any unwanted substances such as dirt and other objects from its environment, it's directly after saying the definition for cleaning that cleaning differs for everyone. So like, for example, I'm going to tell you guys how my cleaning process is. And if you like it, by all means, please feel free to incorporate some of it into your own routine. But do not, ever, under any circumstances, ever, never, ever, anytime ever, let me interrupt your own cleaning style. Because if it works for you, then
by all means, do you, boo.
When I first start cleaning, before I do any work, I like to sit in one spot for 15 minutes and simply take in the fact that I'm going to be cleaning the entire space or area that I am in. Then I start the music, and it's off to the horse races. Except not literally, because while I am roughly the size of a small horse, I obviously don't have the muscle tone or definition. And so that's where the differences stop. Except now that I think about it, I do have giant horse-like feet. You know what? It's complicated. Let's not get too deep into it. If you think about it, we're all a little bit of a horse and a spirit, you know? Do you guys ever feel like running free? No deadlines, no mess to clean up? Just galloping majestically through the open air. That's me. I'm practically metaphorically a horse. And that's where the differences stop. Hold on. To clarify, I don't want to date a horse. Not because they are ugly or anything. A horse can be very hot at times. I just think that we'd have some communication issues. See? I can't speak horse. So that would be where the differences stop. Now, usually while I'm cleaning an area, I like to sit down. While I'm sitting and not standing, I like to make little piles of stuff on the floor. Like, for example, I'll have a pile for trash, and then I'll have a pile for dirty dishes that I found in my room, and then finally, I'll have a pile for clothes. Well, you could totally have more piles. This is kind of when I start running out of the ideas for piles, and so I stop making piles. But these piles make it easier to clean my room, because now I don't have to get up every 15 seconds, because I can just put it in the pile, and then I can pick that pile up in a pile-like pile, and then put it where it goes, probably in another pile. This helps me stay focused, but more importantly, it helps me sit on the floor, because as I've said many times, and you can quote me on this, standing sucks. Why do we do it? It should be called sit-down comedy. Why would I want to tell a joke standing up? Get over to the... Oh no, I dropped the camera. Wait, hold on, I'm coming. Wait, hold on. I got you guys. Don't worry. However, it is very important to develop your own cleaning style, as cleaning is kind of like a hoof print. Everyone's hoof print looks different. When I'm in the middle of cleaning, sometimes to help keep my morale high, I tend to start thinking about all the awesome things and cool stuff that could happen when I finish cleaning my room. So this is my checklist so far that I've been thinking about. So maybe you can use this to get some ideas for your own checklist. Like a clean floor, finally being able to organize those hordes of papers that you have. Some of those are from back when you were in the 5th grade. Finally being able to fulfill your lifelong dream of putting up a table full of snacks in your room, so that way you don't have to share with anyone anymore. Maybe you could host some ladies at your house? But then you remember that you've been out of the dating pool for quite some time, and you might have forgotten how to talk to women, or maybe just people in general, because of how career-focused you've been this last year. You haven't really even been talking to too many people anyway right now. After that dark thought, maybe you could just lay on the floor in your room. Or you could build that cool Lego Death Star that you got. Or you could buy a set of red Crocs. Maybe you could work on some new videos or something. You could work on growing out your beard a little more because you thought you would look cool with a beard. But more importantly, while you are in the middle of cleaning, you happen to glance at the date and realize that it's your birthday. How could you have forgotten? So you decide to take a break and plan a little cool get-together for it. But as you're planning and calling and texting people to ask them to come over for your birthday, you realize that all your friends are out doing adult things. And also that you haven't talked to some of them in a while. Maybe they don't want to come over and dance like there's no tomorrow at this cool sick dance party because you haven't talked to them in a while. I just thought of one for the checklist. Here we go. Maybe I can spend all this time that I have been forced to spend inside my room getting all super buffed and ripped, so that when I come out of this lockdown and I see my friends, they can be like, "Wow, look at how super buff and ripped that guy got." And then I'll be like, "Thanks. I haven't been working out that much," but I would be lying because I did work out a lot. Either way, cleaning can give you this like super boost of endorphins. You want to run or something. It's a really good workout. You'll also probably feel all excited about continuing your day after you're done cleaning. It's really exciting when you get to see the final product, the clean room. Sometimes when you're cleaning your room, you'll come across some memorabilia from your past, like this fidget spinner. And then you'll finally have an answer to that age-old question that philosophers have been asking for ages: where is my fidget spinner? It looks like it was under all those clothes in your room. This time while I was cleaning my room, I happened upon a clapperboard from my very first short film that I ever made, Wesley and Wyatt, a buddy cop comedy. And it reminded me of all the good times that I had had in this room up until this point. Maybe I'm not ready to move out just yet. Life's confusing, you know? One minute you're a dumb 17-year-old kid making a stupid video about eating stale donuts with your friends. And then the next minute you're 20 years old and you're cleaning so that you can move out of your parents' house. At least you finally have an answer to that age-old question: where was my fidget spinner? It was under all these clothes in my room. And now it's in this box, along with the rest of my stuff. I know that while I'm cleaning my room, I tend to start to doze off for a minute. So here's a solution to that problem, just in case you're doing it too. Because I can't be the only one dealing with this issue. Right? Right, guys? Am I right? I like to stand up and I like to begin to sing and dance to whatever song is on at the time. I don't know many dance moves, but that is okay. I tend to make it up as I go. Which is fine, because music is supposed to be kind of like an improv thing. Which is why I've taken to dancing recently. Because I am also a stand-up comedian, and I am trying to work on my comedic. Timing. Another problem that you might run into while you're cleaning your room is that you might realize you have too much stuff inside your room. Oh no! So here's a solution to try and fix that. You could try to sell it at a garage sale, but then you remember that isn't a smart idea right now. Maybe at a later time when things are less are more stable. You could try to sell it on Facebook Marketplace. It is similar to a garage sale, but a bit more safe, and it's just one person is there. But when you ask your mom how to sell something on it, she tells you that maybe you should consider something else because sometimes it can be a bit sketchy or you can get scammed. So you opt for a safer option, asking your family if they want it.
Hey, do you want this box?
Go away.
However, it seems like they may not want it,
Go away, you stupid idiot.
and also they can call you stupid sometimes. So you opt for the safer, more logical option. Just putting it at the back of your closet. That way you don't have to see it anymore. As they always say, out of sight, out of mind. It's a problem for another day now. Ba-na-na, ba-na-na, ba-da-da-da-da, ba-da-da-da-da. Sometimes while you're cleaning your room, you'll get this really good idea for your YouTube channel, and so you'll rush over to your computer to write it down. But then while you were over there, you'll get another idea, and then another, and then pretty soon you'll have like an entire video script in your head. Like me, for example. The other day, while I was cleaning my room, I had this really good idea for a video called The Failed Success of Chad Wild, which would be this video where I would look back on the BTS of my old short film that we failed to shoot in high school called Chad Wild. When I sat down to start writing this video, it flowed out pretty quickly. Sentences like,
So, with all that out of the way, let me take you on a journey into the middle of the forest as we try to survive the failed success of Chad Wild.
was like eating toast with butter. All that to say, it was pretty easy to write. So easy, in fact, I thought that I might actually be able to shoot this thing and make this video. So I set up my camera, I grabbed my mic, and I made a little set for me to shoot on, and I started shooting. But luckily, the first time that I shot this thing, I forgot to press record on my audio. So it was just a bunch of silence. That required me to do the second take. In this next take, somehow there was more honesty.
And so what I did was I kind of just made a bunch of films and scripts and just went out and filmed them. A Modern Cowboy Tale was a pre-generated script. Wesley and Wyatt made in 3 days. What else did I make in high school? Not very much. Vengeance made in a single day. We really like to push the envelope on how fast I make stuff.
Good sentence, right? What about this one?
However, it slowly became a thing where I wanted to keep making bad movies for the sake of making bad movies. I figured if I got a whole bunch of bad movies out of the way, then I could make this super cool, dark, mysterious movie that was super serious and super dark also, and then I would be cool. Which wasn't the case, but I was in high school. What are you gonna do? Tell this dorkazoid that he can't...
Then I stopped. Maybe this was too real. Maybe I don't know what I'm doing. I was really just supposed to be cleaning my room, not making another YouTube video. I need to get back to cleaning. But I don't want to move. I noticed that I was starting to feel somewhat existential, so I figured that meant that I was starting to get a little hungry. So I drove up to the nearest fast food place and got myself a 20-piece nugget and a small fry. I then proceeded to eat that 20-piece nugget and small fry in the McDonald's parking lot. This was not good. I was stress eating. So I returned home and decided to take my mind off of cleaning and writing a video and also moving out, and I started to watch some TV. However, I think at some point I started to doze off in the middle of it because the next thing that I knew, it was morning, and I had slept like for 15 hours.
I slept all day?
Maybe I was just really tired? No, this was not good.
and I didn't clean my room.
I think I'm too stressed from cleaning. So I decided that maybe I need to take a longer break.
Cut the mic for a second. Can you cut the cameras real quick?
Yeah, cutting the cameras.
Okay, my room isn't clean right now. You
Okay.
can turn the cameras back on.
I'll turn
Don't
the
tell anyone.
I'll turn the cameras
You
back
better not put that in.
on. Okay, so I'll just start out with my first question.
Yeah.
Okay. How is your day going? That's my first question.
Pass.
I have to turn on my interview voice. Hold on. Okay, so you're passing on that question. That's fine.
That's
Is
your
it-
interview voice?
Yeah.
I want you to be more stern and more. Okay, moving on. You know.
Okay. Moving on.
Okay, next question.
Okay.
How has your summer been?
Wait, hold on. Okay. Do you make your grilled cheeses? This is a serious question. With what kind of cheese do you use for your grilled cheeses?
Shredded cheese.
Shredded cheese?
It tastes the best. Okay.
Like what kind of shredded cheese?
Like the orange and white stuff. I don't know.
When you're cleaning your room, are you sitting or are you standing?
I'm laying down.
Okay, how does that work? I want to know more about that. How do you lay down and clean? Like what's
Stand
go through the entire
Stand up.
process.
Okay, I want you to stand up.
Okay, I'm standing.
If you're a real interviewer, you'll do this, okay? Lay down on the ground,
Okay.
put your arms to your side, and put your face in the carpet.
Wait, I have hardwood floor.
I do that for a solid 45 minutes before I start cleaning. Then I take everything in my room, and I put it in our trash pile that we have, and then I set it on fire. And then
On
I buy
fire?
new stuff.
So like family memories, you burn those too, or is that out of the question?
Yeah. Well, I'm
Okay.
a minimalist.
Okay. All right. That
Are you
makes
judging
sense.
my way of life?
No, I'm just
Are
asking
you
questions.
literally?
About 2 months later, while I was working on something at my desk, I stopped and looked around, and I noticed that my room was starting to get worse and worse. In fact, it was probably worse this time than it was the original time. So I decided that I was going to start cleaning it.
God. I need to clean my room.
No one had told me to clean. I was just doing it. This time, while I was cleaning my room, my phone was dead, so I couldn't really listen to music or any books on tape. I was just stuck there, cleaning in silence. Just me and my room. Cleaning in silence helped me put a lot of things into perspective, though. I started to think about things that I have done so far in my life, and how drastically my life was about to change. I had to finish cleaning my room. I couldn't put it off anymore. Kind of because my dad told me that he was going to turn my room into his office, and he had already bought the paint for the office room, and I felt like I was holding him back from his process. But mainly, I think I kind of started to like the idea of being on my own. The possibilities were endless. I could shower whenever I wanted at like 2 or 3 a.m. and not hear my mom complain about how the shower that was upstairs across the house was too loud for her room that was downstairs and across the house. I can finally figure out who I am because I kind of have no clue anymore. I could sneak into my own fridge and steal handfuls of shredded cheese without getting the entire house grounded because I refused to admit that it was me who did it. I could make a video called Chef Xavier Cooks SpaghettiOs because it would be really funny. I could keep like an infinite amount of mints, so when I have a guest over at my house, I could be like, want a mint? Or whenever I stub my toe, I could be like, mint, I got a mint now. My toe may hurt, but at least I have a mint. Yeah, I could be the mint guy. I like the sound of that. I could ramp up my arts and crafts side, like how I made this Emmy out of my fruit snacks. But then I stopped. I looked around and noticed that my room was starting to get cleaner and cleaner. Duh, Xavier. That's why you're cleaning your room. But more so, I noticed that my room was starting to become emptier and emptier. Nothing can stop me, I thought. I can achieve literally anything. Like cleaning my whole room without any help. As January 20th, 2021 started to approach me, I had truly started to feel some of what that article I read a year ago told me about cleaning my room. that it would feel like a completely transformative experience. That I would feel happy at the end. This has been Xavier McIntosh, signing off. Rise and shine, and welcome to my morning routine. It's been quite a while since our last chat. A lot has happened since I last saw you guys. But more importantly, I finally got moved into my new apartment. Wow, I've done a lot since you guys have been gone. You could say it's quite the hero's journey that I've been on. I've been doing a lot of deep reflection on my life, and I think that I'm going to use this apartment as a fresh start. To start anew, to be a better person. One of the things that I've been wanting to pick up is a morning routine. I've seen quite a few people online do these things, and they say they help them feel much more productive and active during their days. Webster's Dictionary defines a morning routine as a usual way of doing things, specifically in the morning. So let's get my morning moving and grooving, so to speak. I try to wake up really early during the day. 7 a.m., rise and grind. 8 a.m., time to get up. 9 a.m., it's good for me. 10 a.m., that's too late. You have to get up early, or you'll never be able to attack the day on time. Right after I get up, nature seems to be calling. So it's time for me to take some time in nature, if you know what I mean. Right after I finish using the bathroom, it's time for me to get my body waking up. So I like to get some water in it as soon as I possibly can. I like to drink a ton of water, like a ton of water. Something like 25 gills of water every day really helps get my body moving and grooving. Right after I finish drinking all that water, it's time for my daily dose of reading. I really think that books are really good for the mental, you know? It really helps you feel better and less productive and so on. Today I've chosen a book that's full of dense language, philosophical tones, and overall is just a very intelligent read. It really makes me do a lot of deep reflection on my life. The accurate and relevant humor that lies within these books, the significant and constant flip on the hero's journey that these books often participate in. It really gives you something to sink your teeth into, you know? It makes reading these books in the morning both stimulating and also very visualizing, as you really start to understand that these books might remind you of a time when you were a kid and were also very much happy, and how much you would kill to return to those times. But you can't. Now it's time for my exercise routine. I found myself in the pec building business, building muscle mass, so that way when I finally leave this room, I'll be all super buff and ripped and stuff. So check out this cool muscle montage I put together. Life is going to beat you down. You are going to feel like you have been beaten and broken and beaten. But you can't let them beat you up. You gotta make sure that you beat them up. Because if you let them beat you up, the only thing that will be beaten up is your heart. And that beating of your heart, well, it's only a matter of time before that beating becomes a heartache. And that heartache becomes a heart attack. And then you die from a heart attack. So get up and beat them up. Because if you don't, you might end up at a funeral for yourself. Because you're a ghost now. That's right, ghosts are real. But if you're a ghost, that means you did not persevere. And you will persevere. But don't do it for me. Do it for yourself. Because if you don't persevere, you will be dead. Do you really want to be haunted? Haunted by the decisions that you've been making in life. Haunted by your own ghost from your own funeral, from the heart attack because you let people walk all over you, because you didn't beat them up. That's what I thought. So beat them up, not because you need to persevere, but because you might be a little frightened of ghosts. You need a why. Why are you crying? Why me, God? Why did I get cancer? Why did I get rabies after trying to pet that nice raccoon? Why did I decide to take a third mortgage rate out of my house? Why did I think it would be a good idea to invest in a business that sent out newsletters telling people what kind of funky socks I own? Why are you doing this? What are you doing with your life? What is the purpose for existing? Is it just to become a ghost one day? No! Because you're scared of ghosts. But if you let fear control your life, and you let limits control your fear, then you will become haunted by those limits. And haunted is like half a step definition away from becoming a ghost. And you're scared of those. So beat it up. Beat up the man who's keeping you down. Beat up yourself who's keeping you down. Life is going to beat you down. But don't let it beat you down. Because being beaten down is an extreme fear of mine. So I'm going to get up. I'm going to fight back. And just maybe I won't have a heart attack and die. But instead, I will have a heart attack and live. We will all become ghosts one day. But men don't get it. Ghosts do. So become your fear. Take on the world from your perspective of that fear. Because if you're a ghost, nothing can hurt you. Because you might just be able to pass through walls that have been built up around you. After all that exercise, it's time for a shower. Now that I've showered, it's time for my Emmy-awarded skincare routine. Trademark pending. I've contacted my friend to help me do this one, so here we go. Step 1, I turn on the faucet. Step 2, I put some soap on my skin. Step 3, I rinse my face. And step 4, I dry it. Little disclaimer here. I know there are a lot of men out there who have actual skincare routines. I'm not dissing them with this joke. I just thought it might be a funny joke. But at the same time, I like to look like I perpetually just got up from a nap where I both A, did not get enough sleep to deal with like all of life, and B, I'm thinking about driving my car into a pond where I could live out the rest of my life as a fish who's swimming in a lake. Oops, I'm dreaming again. Let me out of here. Let me out of this room. I don't know, something like that. I unintentionally like to look homeless, but I have a place to sleep and money to take care of myself, but I have literally no energy to do either. I want you to look at a photo of me and think, wow, that guy really let himself go.
But in a total bad way.
After my morning self-deprecation in the mirror, it's important to keep both the ego and it in check. I usually like to brush my teeth, but way too hard. After I finish rinsing out my mouth, it's time for me to sit down and start to do my daily journaling. This is a chance for me to come to an emotional center and really start to understand myself and where I currently am at in life. Basically, I've become my own therapist, which is a good thing. After my journaling, it's time for my daily fit check. And I guess with that being said, it's time for me to get this morning moving. Today I have so many things I have to do. I think I have 2 or 3 meetings to do today, and then I have like a full day out on the town, and I also have to work on my little secret project that I have to put some work into. I can't tell you anything. Okay, maybe just one thing. I'm becoming a super secret spy agent soon. Shh, don't tell anyone, I'm so excited. And that's what you call an Emmy-awarded morning routine. Thank you.
Hello! Do you guys ever feel like you're feeling a bit down in the dumps? Like you're doing everything wrong in life? Cause I certainly feel that way. I do feel that way. Boy, oh boy, do I have a solution for you. You might be looking for a hobby, or at least a distraction from life. So I figured that I would make a quick video reviewing a couple of hobbies from this article that I read a year ago that got me into making How to Clean Your Room in the first place. So welcome to this video that I have titled How to Get Out of a Funk, because there are so many reasons that you should be in one right now, but maybe you could find a hobby to distract yourself from that feeling of feeling like you should be stuck in a hole. Don't get in that hole. It could be deep. Dance around your room. Dancing around your room could be a really fun activity. And just like I said in How to Clean Your Room, it could relieve a lot of tension that you might be feeling. Go for a swim, but then you realize, oh shoot, it's winter. You can't swim in winter. Or maybe you could. Just dip that toe on in. Dip. Hello. And, hi. And, hey. So I just watched Disney Pixar's Soul, which came out a few months ago, and it was actually pretty good. I also just turned 21, and so I guess I'm kind of saying happy 21st birthday, Xavier. The reason that I'm mentioning Soul and the birthday is because they feel connected in some weird way. When I was younger, I started making YouTube videos at 12, earlier than that, probably. Not to go viral, not to get anywhere. I honestly just enjoyed making stuff. I mean, like, the lengths I would go. I'd go sit in my mom's burning hot car in the middle of July just to finish a section for the vlog that I was making. I would actively stay up super late to finish an edit that literally no one else cared about but me. To put it simply, I was super passionate about this whole thing. Then, during my last year of high school, something in my mind shifted. I started to act a bit more outgoing and extroverted. Started being a bit wacky, funny. I made people laugh, I think. I kind of liked who I was becoming. And then, script flip. That version of me got hurt pretty bad by someone that he trusted. By the first person that he trusted to tell how he feels and stuff. And then they turned that trust into something that I had to run from. that kind of broke me. I kept asking myself, how do I stay friends with someone after that? Can you ever go back to things how they used to be? Can I trust anyone again? But in front of everyone else, I had to keep performing. I had to keep wearing that mask, because if I didn't, I would hear people tell others they miss the old Xavier. And that kind of stings, because I missed him too, and I'm trying to figure out how to get him back. And I don't know if he'll ever come back. Behind closed doors, though, I was kind of falling apart. Depression, panic attacks, anxiety attacks, loneliness, self-doubt, major self-doubt. And in public, I fell down a deeper rabbit hole. I was this YouTuber version of myself. I overheard someone once describe depression as two people inside of you, both fighting for control. And that has never felt more true. That friendship rift kind of broke something inside of me. And it's harder to admit than I thought it might be. But it kind of changed how I connect with things. Movies, videos, even my own writing. None of it clicks the same way. I've lost my spark. Maybe that's why it's been so hard to finish How to Clean Your Room. Because when I started it, I was so excited. I was happy. But now, and that has felt like one of the most dissociating processes. When you watch footage of yourself happy and making a funny bit, and then your screen goes dark and you can see your face in the reflection of it. And you realize that you aren't happy. How do you make something feel honest again? When everything you feel is so... You could clean your room again. It's time to clean your room again. It's getting pretty messy. You don't want that mess in here, so it's time to clean your room.
Hey guys, can I be a bit honest with you? I've been more depressed than ever these last few months. That's probably pretty obvious. Unfortunately, I've been cooped back up inside my room. I think that the isolation is starting to get to me. I feel like I've been stuck in a never-ending loop for these last 3 years. Fortunately for me, it's finally winter, my favorite season of the year. A time to look inwards on oneself. So as a result of that, I've been doing a lot of inwards reflection, and I think that I might be ready to admit some truths that I was unwilling to face a few years ago. I haven't left my room all that much, except to get the mouthwash that I left on the front porch yesterday. And then I came right back inside. But it's starting to get kind of cramped in here. So today I thought that I might reorganize it. However, as I said last time, sometimes the simplest tasks can often feel like the hardest to achieve. So today I wanted to show you guys how to reorganize your room, as it's really easy to get distracted, and you don't want to do that, because then you might just end up with your room in some weird kind of limbo space, where my room is currently. Oh, hi. I didn't see you there. As I previously mentioned in How to Clean Your Room,
cleaning is said to be used by the ancient Egyptians in order to keep things super nice and clean. It's a respect thing. However,
speaking of used by the ancient Egyptians, one of the older and even more respected art forms of cleaning was practiced in some parts of China and Japan, most notably known as feng shui. Google says the definition of feng shui is a system of laws considered to govern spatial arrangement and orientation and relation to the flow of energy and whose favorable or unfavorable effects are taken into account when sitting and designing buildings. I wrote this dumb little sketch to explain the following.
Oh no. Why is your house so messy? Oh no. I thought you said that you were coming over later. I promise that it will be
Reorganize.
the next time that you come over. Do you still want to watch the Heroes Edition on Blu-ray, DVD, and digital HD of Captain Underpants? The first epic movie with me? No, I do not want to watch the Heroes Edition of the Captain Underpants movie, the first epic movie on Blu-ray, DVD, and digital HD, now including special bonus features, including a scene where they talk about the puppets from the movie that they made. But I do want you to die.
Feng Shui is this really cool and neat concept that I've been reading about in my free time. Here are some super cool fun facts that I learned while I was reading. Did you know that Feng Shui is all about actively influencing our environments? The qi or energy in our spaces is often positively or negatively influencing our moods. Did you also know that it translates directly to wind and water? Did you know that it makes an appearance in Kung Fu Panda 2? I got stuck watching that the other day, and I remembered how great it was. And maybe I was just looking for an excuse to bring that up. And that's all the fun facts that I know. I'm only like 20 pages into this book that I'm reading, but once I get more pages in, things will really start kicking off. The other day, I was watching Spider-Man, and I looked around, and I thought, oh my stars! Oh no, it's gotten super messy in here. I think that I need to clean this place up. And so I did. Please view this next paragraph as if you had seen it in the original How to Clean Your Room script. There are 3 different types of cleaning. Cleaning 1 is cleaning skates. That means that you're cleaning a pair of skates that you own. This can prove difficult, but when you own skates, it's something that you have to do every once in a while. Number 2, cleaning for cleaning's sakes. That means that you're like picking stuff up for a party or something. Think of it like when your mom told you that you needed to get the living room clean because you had company coming over. Number 3, cleaning for moving things' sake. This one doesn't rhyme, but it's probably the best one. This is when you are picking things up and unplugging them and moving them and cleaning underneath the things that you've moved so that way they can have a new special spot in your house. After you've finished the cleaning and picking up part of the reorganization process, it's time to start moving things around. Oh, I forgot to mention in the previous paragraph, you probably shouldn't unplug your lights. You won't be able to see. After all that heavy work of moving around your couch and bed, the 2 heaviest objects in your room, you might want to take a little breather.
Who are you? I don't know. Who am I?
After that, you get things finished up, and you realize that you had finished this thing a lot sooner than you thought you might have. And now you have, like, a whole lot of time left. And what are you supposed to do with the rest of this time? You might find yourself feeling like you don't know what to do next. This could be a result of not knowing what to do next. Or you could just be hungry. So you decide to go and get some food so you don't starve. For the last few months, you've been thinking back on the original ending for this thing. And thinking, maybe you should have stopped way earlier. But now, the ending doesn't work because you continued filming. You tainted that original ending. Let me put it like this. The other day, I moved my couch and my fidget spinner fell out from underneath it. I thought, wow, there it is. I haven't seen it since I moved in here. Can I ask you guys a question? Do you ever feel unhappy? Not like you are sad or the things around you suck, but like there's this hollow feeling inside of you. Like you are going through the motions of everyday life and just existing. I look back on younger Xavier with such a fondness. I think a bit of jealousy. It felt like he had things figured out. Or maybe he was just oblivious to the truth that I'm now seeing clearly. It's really funny. I had to start wearing glasses again.
Are you happy? I don't know, really. Are you?
However, sometimes the simplest tasks. So today I wanted to show you guys how to clean your room, as it's really easy to get distracted while you're cleaning. Let's restart. Hold on. Come on, breathe. You got this. Hi. Hey.
It's all in our hands, this life of time that's given to us all. It gathers round each night, each morn. We watch it pass and grow.
but I started writing this thing back in September. So it's coming up on 3 years officially since I started writing. And then eventually we'll be at 3 years since I filmed something for this damn movie thing. Every single time I think I'm at a stopping point for How to Clean Your Room, I just keep going and going and going and going, and I'm still filming stuff of me cleaning my room and me doing this and me doing that to put in this documentary, and I don't know. I don't know where I'm at right this second, or who I am, or what I'm doing, and I'm trying to be okay with that. But I just keep filming stuff for this thing. I don't know if I'll ever be done with How to Clean Your Room.
It is all in our hands, it is all in our hands. And we know the change will surely come. Baby, one more trip around the sun. But we'll gather here where land meets sea, where we can be as one. And we know the change will surely come. Baby, one more trip around the sun, and we'll gather here where land meets sea, where we can be as one. It is all in our hands, and we know the change will surely come. This life of time, it can be. It's all in our hands. It is all in our hands.
Why do I keep pushing to make this thing? Where am I going? What do I have to say?
I've developed this fascination with the rain recently. I'm not exactly sure what it means. Right before I started the first draft for How to Clean Your Room, I found this article that was titled Top 10 Ways to Make Yourself Happy. In that article, it said something like, these are some things that you can do to make yourself feel happy that will make you feel like your old self, or something like that. Which is perfect because I was growing up and changing, and I didn't know how to address not feeling like your old self. So I started doing some of the things on the list to feel happy again. Like make an arts and craft project, cook your favorite meal, come up with a really funny joke, clean your room. After a while, I started to realize that none of the stuff on the list was making me feel any happier. I was laughing and having a good time while I was doing the activity, but as soon as I finished, everything returned to how it was beforehand. So I became obsessed with media that talked about bettering yourself. I watched tons of people talk about how to better your life. I watched people talk about the concept of happiness. I watched people do morning routines and little things to make themselves happy. I was hoping that I would find a solution to my problem, which is that I didn't feel as happy as I used to feel, but I never did. The only thing I could come up with was this.
Sometimes the downpour can often feel nice to sit in, because I know that all storms eventually will end. A couple months ago, when I recorded probably what was my final sunrise clip, it started to rain, which is fine, because I may not have an umbrella, but I had worn a light jacket. I've been feeling recently as if I'm stuck in Groundhog's Day, in which I've seen the sun rise a bunch of times, but I've never seen it set. So logically, I've been thinking about how to end this thing, and I combined those two thoughts, and it struck me. To close the loop of how to clean your room, I need to watch the sunset. The only problem is, I'm kind of starting to hate the sun. The only problem is, I'm kind of starting to hate the sunrise, and I don't think that the sunset is going to make me feel too particularly better about my situation. So all in all, I just want the fucking sun to disappear.
What have we got here, dear Watson? It looked like he died of shock, sir. And why do you say that, dear Watson? Because of the cleanliness of this room. I mean, look at it. Wow. You're right. Just look at the state of this room. Indubitably, another murder solved for Sherlock and Watson. I guess now that that's finished, we could watch the Captain Underpants movie, the first epic movie, on Blu-ray, DVD, and digital HD. He probably has Netflix. We could start watching the Epic Tales of Captain Underpants. It's on Netflix as well. Wow, it's really clean in here. Yeah, it really makes watching the Captain Underpants, the first epic movie, and the series on Netflix, the Epic Tales of Captain Underpants, and the interactive game on Netflix, such a blast of an experience. You said it, dear Sherlock. Indubitably. Did you call me Watson earlier? Oh. I have found myself rewatching my old videos again, and I have noticed a troubling pattern. I always have trouble finishing things. At first I thought that maybe I was just a perfectionist, but there came a time when I started lying to myself. That telling myself it's not finished yet was not just a perfectionist quality, but was also the quality of being a procrastinator. I started to notice that I stopped making things a while back, but I kept telling other people that I was still making stuff. Maybe more than making things that I genuinely enjoyed, I just wanted others to know me as someone who did make stuff. I wanted to be a filmmaker. So, it was almost comedically predictable that I was not just going to suddenly find meaning in a project that I was working on, that I was going to take shortcuts to meaning, that I was going to look for fake emotional catharsis. I think that is the real reason why I came back to How to Clean Your Room after finishing it the first time. It's why the original ending for How to Clean Your Room felt cheap, despite it resolving the core conflict at the center of the story. I was lying. I was lying to myself. The thing is, I really enjoy making things, and I'm extremely ambitious. But when your best ideas sit on a list of projects you intend on finishing as soon as you finish the one big project that you haven't even started editing yet, and you're 4 years in, How much action are you taking here? Because ambition without action is like taking a nap during the day and waking up when it's dark outside. You'll get to see the sunrise, but you'll never see it set. Sometimes, when you are finally finishing a project that you've been working on for the last 5 years, you'll come across a box that is sitting at the top of your closet, and you'll be just a little confused because you thought, I thought I emptied all the boxes from my move. But when you pull it down and start going through it, you'll find a bunch of memorabilia from across this project that you've been working on.
What? No. Hey, little guy.
Like this fidget spinner. It looks like during the last move, it finally lost those last 2 brackets. But hey, that's okay, because look, it spins quicker now. I'm worried that if I talk for too long, I will talk the sun away. So instead of trying to tie this thing up into a nice little bow, I will just say this. Happy 24th birthday. I hope that finishing this project will finally make you happy, Xavier.